Social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective.
Grace and peace, everybody. We are back, and we have another good one. Fani Willis is missing it again. She's catching yet another L. And she's been pushing back, as you know, about the subpoenas that she's been fighting here in Georgia, actually to answer questions from the superior, from the Senate. And she's been fighting that for a good little hot minute. Well, she's been told yet again, in no uncertain terms, that you must answer. Okay, so what we have here is the court filing, and this is the order denying the motion to dismiss and or quash the application to enforce the witness subpoena and subpoena duos tecum of Senate Special Committee on Investigations. This matter is before the court on petitioner's motion to dismiss and or quash the application to enforce witness subpoenas and subpoena duos tecum of Senate Special Committee on Investigation motion. In short, petitioner argues that on October 31st, 2024, application to enforce witness subpoena and subpoena duos tecums filed by Senate Special Committees on Investigations is moot and void because of January 13th, 2024, a special General Assembly was sworn in and the special committee then ceased to exist. So they're arguing, well, hey, the committee didn't get me up here before the new Senate came in. Therefore, since the new Senate is already in, then that means that this is a moot point. And we're going to find out what Shakira Ingram has to say about that. And therefore lacks the power to enforce this application or its subpoenas. For the reasons set forth below, this court disagrees and the motion is therefore denied. All right, so let's keep it going. As an initial matter, this court agrees with the respondents that the authority cited does not stand for the proposition that the original subpoenas was to be declared void because the General Assembly and a special committee have been reconstituted, post-election, and the cases cited by the petitioner in her motion are critically distinguishable for the same reason set forth in respondent's reply, which are incorporated by reference herein. All right, so let's see where we're going with this. Hold on. Moreover, this court agrees that regardless of whether the subpoenas are void, the dispute at issue is capable of repetition, yet evading review. While the court is not unsympathetic to the petitioner's argument that these particular subpoenas were served at the end of the legislative term, thus reissuing them anew at the beginning of the new term would afford more time for the respondents to realize compliance and reality. The reality is that there are a myriad of ways to tie these disputes up in court. If every time a subpoena is issued by a special committee, a respondent, or rather recipient, can simply litigate its validity and enforcement until the General Assembly reconstitutes, and then they have to start over, this would be an absurd result indeed. Not least because this would mean that if the need for a subpoena did not arise well toward the beginning of a term, the General Assembly would be forced to defer issuing said subpoenas until the beginning of the next term in order to maximize their window of opportunity to enforce it. This could and would result in lost evidence, fading memories, and general inefficiency. Moreover, suppose the production of documents were ongoing during the transition from one term to the other. Would everyone simply have to start over? This court cannot, in good conscience, facilitate such a result. As such, petitioners' motion is denied. So ordered on the 25th day of July, 2025. Shakura Ingram. All right. Shout out to Shakura. She said, look, Fani, we're not going to play these games. We're not doing this. You're not going to be able to just say, hey, they can't do this, and therefore we're going to just drag it out. Because you could literally stall every single time a subpoena was given, really, and just say, hey, well, we don't have enough time to do it. We're legislating it. We're going to go ahead and get some court cases in there, file some motions. We got a new committee in place. Got to start over again from zero. That would be insane. I agree with Lady Ingram in that regard for sure. This is not going to work. So let's bring in what the Atlanta News First had to say. So let's bring them in very quickly. So let's look at a quick newscast on this topic real quick, and let's get out of here. Let's go. I don't know why it's thinking over there. What's it thinking about? Let's go. Here we go.
But first, breaking right now at noon, a judge has denied Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's efforts to evade subpoenas issued by Georgia state lawmakers. Willis has said that as an elected official, lawmakers don't have the power to subpoena her. They want to ask her questions about her investigation into alleged election meddling on the part of President Trump and his allies during the 2020 election. She has until March 12th to refile with answers to the judge's questions.
All right. So we know that Shakura Ingram said, no, you got to go. And she's still trying to fight. So she has until the March 12th in order to refile with why it is that she doesn't need to actually comply. I think at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, she's going to be found that she has to go. What do you think? And I think it's going to be interesting. So definitely we're going to keep our eye on this because this case has been going on for a hot minute. I sadly don't think that this case is going to end. I think Fani Willis is going to keep trying and keep maneuvering. She's going to keep posturing past subpoenas and requests for information and documentation. I think she's going to keep going until eventually she just has to quit. But I don't think she's going to quit on her own. But what do you think? Down in the comment section, let me know what's going on. What are your thoughts and so forth like that? Thank you so very much for locking this video in. Thank you so much for liking it. Thank you so much for engaging in the comments. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.